Hi friends, welcome back. Guys, in this video, I'm going to predict most important and expected questions in the upcoming mains examination 2024 from General Studies paper 3 economy section. So guys, let us start. So in the General Studies paper 3 economy section, the first section is Indian economy issues related to planning, mobilization, resources, growth, employment. So in this, the very first question can be on per capita income. Why India's per capita income is low, how it can be improved. Why am I predicting this question? Because if you see, recently there were debates that although India may become the third largest economy by 2027, but still India's per capita income will be one of the lowest in the world. I think India's rank as far as per capita income is, I think, around 130, 140, which is very low. So although the size of the economy is very big, and we may think that we are the third largest economy, but in the coming years, but our per capita income will be very low, and still a lot of people are still poor. So per capita income is very, very important concept. Next is the middle income trap. Recently, the World Bank came out with a report talking about this phenomena of the middle income trap. According to that report, many countries, including India, we may face this middle income trap where the income will never become the high income, will be always trapped in the middle income. Right now, India is in the lower middle income. Okay, so can India escape the middle income trap? Next is what is a developed country, because we have an aim of becoming a developed country. So what is a developed country? Can economic growth be equated into economic development? Can India become a developed country by 2047? Okay, that is a very, very important question. Next, Levy's model of economic development. Very important. This year, you know, India is one of the peculiar economy which basically jumped from the agriculture to the services, skipping the manufacturing phase. This is very, very important. And because of this only most of the economic problems right now we are facing, like unemployment, is because of this very problem that we did not, okay, transition from agriculture to the manufacturing to the services. We did not do that. And that is the reason we are facing so many economic problems today. Whether it is the per capita income problem, whether it is the unemployment problem, this is the main reason. This is very, very important. Next is the savings rate. Guys, there has been fall in the savings rates. There is a fall in the investment rates also. So, okay, the domestic saving, the financial saving, this is a very important topic. And there is one more topic which you can get this year is the over financialization of economy. Guys, what is happening is that there is a change in the savings pattern of the people. People are moving away from traditional financial savings like the fixed deposit, and they are moving to capital markets, and this is leading to over financialization, and that may be a threat to the economy. Because you see, in the economic survey also they have talked about that market cap to GDP ratio in India has reached 140%, which is basically over valuation. So this can be a theme. Okay, the stock market, okay, over financialization can be a question. Next, if you see, coming to the topic of employment, you can get two, three questions here. One is the employment elasticity. Why is employment elasticity in India low? Why there is a jobless growth? Why there is a job loss growth? And they can link AI also to this, and they can ask you how AI is going to impact India's employment scenario. Because guys, this year a lot of reports have come that AI may harm the job prospects of Indian youth who are going to enter the job market. Next is the gig economy. Critically examine various issues in the gig economy. Next is the universal basic income, how it can end poverty in India. Then human capital formation, how human capital formation is important for economic growth. This is related to skills. Question can related come to skills. Why skilling is failing in India? Next, female labor force participation rate, why it is low in India, what are the factors responsible for it? Next, workers' productivity. What is workers' productivity? Is it labor productivity? Is there a link between worker productivity and economic growth? Guys, there was a huge debate about that Indian workers do not work as much as in the other countries like Japan. There was a statement by one of the industrialists, and that led to huge controversy. Okay, that Indian workers, they are already overworked and underpaid. So in that context, what is the worker productivity? What is the labor productivity? What is the relationship between them? That can be a question. Okay, guys. Next, Atmanirbhar Bharat import substitution. Next, rising debt. Rising debt can be a problem in household. Rising household debt. Next, inflation targeting. What is inflation targeting? Is inflation targeting working for the RBI? Should we do away with inflation targeting? Can be a question. Next, food inflation. Food inflation is a big problem, guys. Food inflation related. Why is RBI failing to control the food inflation? Okay. Next is the income inequality. Guys, recently there was a huge controversy when one of the thinkers suggested that we must go for inheritance tax to counter the rising inequality in India. Guys, economic inequality is a very important theme. I don't know why UPSC has been ignoring this theme for the last 2 3 years, but this year I would like to predict that economic inequality will definitely be asked. What are the reasons for economic inequality in India? Is it increasing after 1991? How can we check this in economic inequality? Can inheritance tax help in solving this economic inequality? What are the implications of having an economic inequality? Very, 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 very probable question. Okay. Next, demographic dividend. Guys, demographic dividend is every year you see either in general studies paper 1 or 2 or 3 you will have a question on demographic dividend. Definitely. If one question you need to prepare, one concept you need to prepare, it has to be the demographic dividend. Coming to the inclusive growth theme. Inclusive growth theme also you see last year there was a question on inclusive growth and MSME. Before that, there was a question on inclusive growth and financial inclusion. So this year also you may expect a question on inclusive growth. This year what they will do is they will link inclusive growth with, you can see, the concept of animal husbandry or gender dividend. Okay, gender dividend. Guys, how can we have inclusive growth when female are not participating in the labor force? So they can include the women angle. Okay, gender mainstreaming, gender budgeting, or they can use the angle of animal husbandry or agriculture. Guys, one of the aspect of inclusive growth is agriculture growth. Without agriculture growth we cannot have inclusive growth in India. So they can club, see, if you see inclusive growth questions in the last 3 4 years, they are linking inclusive growth with other aspects of the syllabus. Like last year they linked it with MSMEs. I had predicted last year question also, and before that they linked with the financial inclusion. So this year I'm predicting they will link it to the animal husbandry or they will link it to agriculture. So please do prepare this theme, that how animal husbandry, how agriculture can help in inclusive growth. And another question can be that the 1991 economic growth, after that what has ever happened in India, is it inclusive? Is it inclusive? That can be a theme. Next is the theme of budgeting, government budgeting. Again, I'm guaranteeing you, giving you a guarantee. One question you can expect from this government budgeting, and the question will be on this jet debt to GDP ratio. Guys, we are moving away from the fiscal deficit target in the FRBM Act to debt to GDP target. Okay, so this can be a very important question, that do we need to do away with fiscal targeting? Do we need to move away from fiscal targeting to this debt to GDP target? Okay, this is a very, 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 very important question. I have discussed this in my classes a lot of times, in my Optima classes also, in my 90 days answer writing class also. I personally believe very high chances. Next, the question can be on debt. Why debt is increasing? Is India's debt unsustainable? Guys, India's debt has already reached around 85%, and you see, although it is very low compared to America and other developed countries, okay, there was a issue of debt, American debt also this year. Guys, worldwide debt is at the peak. Worldwide debt is at the peak. And this year's in the prelims examination also there was a question on debt default of America. So debt can be a very, very important theme. Revise debt. I have revised this in my 90 days classes. Okay, so please do, okay, prepare for this. Next is inheritance tax. What is inheritance tax? Do we need to have an inheritance tax? What is the purpose of inheritance tax? Next is uh, the budget. This year's budget is a very important budget. Let me tell you guys. Last year in 2019, there was a question on budget taxation. This year also there has been some important changes in the capital gains tax. So they can link question of budget to various aspects, like what is budget and taxation, what is the recent budget and demographic dividend, because in this budget the focus is on employment. So how this budget helps in achieving demographic dividend can be a very important question. Also, budget and tax on high fat, salt, sugar food. Okay, this can be also a question. Next is tax to GDP ratio. Why tax to GDP ratio is low compared to the developed countries, why it needs to be increased. Next, the section of cropping pattern. In cropping pattern, why India is not self-sufficient in pulses, why India is not self-sufficient in oilseeds. Okay, make a case for millets. Millets, question on millets, high probability, high probability. Okay, then food inflation, why food inflation in India is not able to be controlled. Then what is organic farming? What are the challenges of organic farming? Organic farming, a very important theme, guys. Then paddy cultivation in Punjab and Haryana leading to water crisis. Why it is needed a cropping pattern shift towards pulses, towards oilseeds, and we have to move out of the rice and wheat cropping pattern. Okay, next, intensive cultivation and groundwater problem in India. Next, you can see farm distress and MS Swaminathan committee report. Guys, this is a very important commission. This is a very important commission report. Please go through the recommendations of the MS Swaminathan commission, because last year I think there was one question in General Studies paper 1 on how India achieved the food security, and I believe that there will be one question regarding MS Swaminathan's contribution to Indian agriculture. Definitely one question has to be there. So this commission is very, very important. Even if the direct question does not come, you can use this data and the recommendations of the commission to answer any agriculture question. Very good report, very important report. Next, digital agriculture. What is digital agriculture? Very important. What is agri stack? Very important. Agri stack and digital agriculture. I'm predicting one question from here, one question definitely from here. Go through it. Next, FPO. What is farmers producers organization? Again, I'm predicting one question from here. And cooperatives and FPOs, very important theme, guys. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't imagine. Okay, this is the most important topic. They should ask question on FPO. Government focus on cooperatives and FCO is huge. Let me tell you, huge. Every day in the PIB, you will see one news on cooperative sector, one news in the FPO sector. Very, very important. Farm mechanization may or may not be. Next, issues related to farm subsidies and PDS and all. So you can see here question on livestock, animal rearing, livestock, very, very important. What are the challenges in the livestock industry, guys? This theme is very, very important, particularly the fodder challenge is very, very important, guys. With the reduction in land, because of urbanization, because of industrialization, the fodder land is decreasing. Fodder is decreasing, guys. India has one of the largest number of animals, okay, domesticated animals. So this is a big challenge. So animal rearing, the challenges, the national livestock policy. Read this policy, you will get a lot of points to answer this question. Next, do we need to legalize MSP? Do we need to legalize MSP? What are the pros and cons of legalizing MSP? How is MSP calculated? MS Swaminathan Commission report. What was the recommendation of MS Swaminathan Commission? 50% that issue. Okay, then what is buffer stock? Again, UPSC has not asked question buffer stock. They can ask a question of buffer stock this year. Very, very important. Short, crisp. We have covered in our mains notes. We have covered in our discussion also in 90 days class. Buffer stock can be a predicted question this year. Next, nutrient-based subsidy. Why urea needs to be added in the nutrient-based subsidy? Why I'm talking about fertilizer subsidy this year? Out of all the subsidies this year, fertilizer subsidy is very important because, guys, because of this Ukraine-Russia war, India's fertilizer import came to highlight. Okay, why? Because we are importing a lot of fertilizer from outside, and because of high prices and because of this international turmoil, we have decided as a country to become self-sufficient in fertilizer manufacturing. And this is a theme which is very important, fertilizer subsidies, and in that nutrient-based subsidy and how misuse of fertilizer is leading to harming the NPK ratio of the soil. So this can be a question. Next, a technology mission. Again, a new question which will come in the prelim in the mains examination 2024. Technology mission, particularly oil seeds, pulses technology mission, very, very important. What is this technology mission? Can be a question. Next, from food processing, the question can be how food processing can help in inclusive growth, how food processing can help in employment generation. This can be a theme because in this economic survey there is one chapter dedicated to food processing as an employment intensive sector. employment intensive sector, so food processing, they can ask related to employment and inclusive growth. Coming to land reforms, in land reforms, land record digitization, this can be a question. This question came in the prelims exam also this year. Digitization effort, how digitization of land, particularly agriculture land, can help farmers to get agri credit. Okay, they can ask. Okay, next from LPG, liberalization, privatization policy and industrial policy, they can ask question on internationalization of currency. Next they can ask question on industrial policy, PLI, is PLI successful or not? How is PLI different from other Make in India projects? Okay, next, China plus one strategy. Can India become a manufacturing hub? Can India displace China as a manufacturing hub? Very important. Next, China plus one strategy. Okay, this we have discussed. Okay, next from infrastructure, ports. This year the theme is ports. You will definitely get a question on ports. Let me tell you, what are the challenges of Indian ports? What are the challenges of the inland waterways, also inland waterways? Okay, shipping. Okay, very important. Very, please prepare. I have discussed at least 3 4 times this question. I have a very high conviction that this year the question will be on port, either transshipment port or challenges of Indian port or waterways, something related to waterways, ports, there is going to become. Next, logistics cost. Why logistics cost is high? What is this national logistics policy? Very important. What are the issues in the infrastructure sector? Why infrastructure is very important? What are the issues in infrastructure sector related to the PPP projects? Coming to the last, investment models, FDI. Why India needs FDI, and what was this controversy related China FDI? Guys, there was a huge controversy. Should we allow Chinese FDI into the auto sector or not? Is it good? Is it bad for India? Pros and cons of that. And FDI has been falling in the recent years. What has led to this fall? Why India needs FDI? This is a probable question, guys. If you like the analysis which I have done, please do. Okay, share this video with everyone who is writing the mains this year. And on the exam day, let us check how many questions comes from this list. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you.